Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Ash and I'm here with another review roundup video. If you don't know what these videos are, it's basically me talking about 4 games I've been playing recently. Now, this one is focused purely on games I've been playing on Xbox, either for Xbox Series X and S consoles or Xbox One. Now, all these games have been sent to me by their publishers or developers, so huge thank you to them for that. And I'm going to jump straight in with the first one, which is Turn to Mine. Now, this one is a weird one because I looked at this on the store when it was like in pre-order stages, and honestly, if you hadn't opened up the game's like store page, you would probably think it's an entirely different game, because looking at the like thumbnail art, it looks like it's got like two guys, like a guy and a girl, 2 people. One of them's like wearing sunglasses, one of them's got like the dyed hair. Kind of thought like with the name Turn to Mine it would be some sort of either visual novel or some sort of like Life is Strange-esque sort of narrative game. But what you actually get is this 2D sort of mining game where you basically have to go around these grids, destroy enemy drones before they destroy you, and solve a variety of different puzzles. Now, these 2 characters on the thumbnail pop up in between the levels to sort of push a story along. Now, I don't think the story's really needed, and I don't think it would have mattered whether they took that out and it was just level after level. I don't think it adds a lot to the game. Now, the single-player campaign is about 2 hours long, which doesn't sound like massive, but because it's this type of gameplay, it doesn't need to be any longer. There's also multiple modes for replayability. You've got an endless mode where you can play generated levels with like seed numbers. There's a challenge mode where you have to beat remix campaign levels, and that gives you a reason to keep playing. And there's a lot of like different things you can do. Now, it's really weird how this game plays. It's really difficult to kind of explain it simply. So I would recommend watching some sort of YouTubers play the game, because honestly, it's a really, really weird one. Like, it actually is quite fun. It's something that you actually kind of need to pay attention to. They're like single screen level puzzles. You've got to avoid like mines, like environmental hazards, as well as obviously defeating enemies. And you have to basically guide this little miner to collect all of the materials that you can see. Now, it does ramp up in difficulty as you progress through it, which is fine. I like a bit of a challenge, but it's never too difficult that you're going to rip your hair out. Now, this released on the 16th of the 8th, 2024 by developer Philip Lerner and published by Sometimes You. Now, I played the Series X and S version, which is obviously optimised for those systems with 4K resolution and 60 FPS. There's also, I believe, an Xbox One version. Exactly same game, but it's got stackable achievements. There's also a free trial as well, and the game is priced at £8.39 on Xbox, so jump in and give it a try, guys. Okay, next up is Let's School. Now, this is a school simulator game where you basically take the role as a headmaster, and you've basically got to revive these flagging schools. Now, I previously covered this. It came out in July 2023 on PC from publisher PM Studios, and they've now sent me a copy on Xbox. It released on the 16th of the 7th, 2024, playable on both Xbox One and Xbox Series X and S consoles. Now, this is a really nice in-depth management sim game. You start off with a small school with only a couple of rooms. You have to hire the teachers in. You have to recruit students and make sure you've got the right curriculum for them to pass their exams and stuff like that. You have to then upgrade your school as you progress to make it bigger and better. And then once you've done that, you move on to even bigger and better schools. You'll have ones with like massive gymnasiums, multiple buildings, helicopter pads, all that sort of stuff. And they've added an absolute ton of stuff to this game since I last played it. It's really been polished and made to run fantastically. And on Steam, I know it's deck verified, so playing it with a pad was already like viable on PC, so there's no real issues with it like converting a PC sort of management game over to Xbox. Now, if you are wondering what this plays like, you can download a demo on Steam and have a go. But it's priced at $16.74 on Xbox, and honestly, it's one of the best school management games I've played. It's a bit less funny than some of the other games out there. There's a lot more in-depth to it with the scheduling of your lessons and stuff like that, and your curriculum, and making sure all your teachers are correct and everything. And it starts off quite small, and eventually there's so much to do, and you end up overseeing so much stuff. It's really, really good if you just stick at it. Now, graphically, it's low poly, but it works really, 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 really well. So check this one out. Like I say, fantastic school management game. That's great on console and on PC. Okay, next up is SokoPenguin. Now, this is another one of those block pushing games, and there's a ton of them coming out. It seems to be one of the new puzzle game sort of fads. And this one is pretty cool. I quite enjoy this one. You will basically take the role of this penguin, and it's up to you to push these blocks around to eventually switch a switch on so you can get to your igloo. Now, there's 100 levels, each of them slowly but surely increasing in difficulty, introducing new mechanics, new environmental things you have to work around. And they're all single screen puzzles. Now, you can reset and retry these levels at any time, so there's no real struggle on like working your way through it. If you get mixed up, you can just press restart and try it again. Now, the game is like retro, chunky, 2D pixelated graphics, nice, bright and colourful, and has a nice little soundtrack to go along with it. Gameplay wise, you'll get through it in a couple of hours. It's not overly difficult depending on your skill level, but it is also a very easy gamer score completion as well. So achievement hunters out there, check this one out. Now, you can also unlock hats for your penguins every 10 levels you complete. They don't really do anything, they just add a little bit to your character, which I thought was funny. Now, on Xbox, it's priced at £4.19, and it's playable on Xbox One and Series X and S consoles. It's also optimised for Series X and S with 60 FPS and 4K resolution. Now, definitely check this one out. It's from publisher East Asia Soft Limited, who were kind enough to send me a copy, and it released on the 28th of the 8th, 2024. Okay, and last up, it's Mangavania 2. Now, this is published by Sometimes You, and it's developed by Alexander Nikolaev. Apologies if I've butchered that name at all. Now, this is a follow-up to Mangavania 1, which I have covered on the channel previously, and this released on the 21st of the 8th, 2024. Now, there's two versions on Xbox. There's an Xbox Series X and S version, which I played, and there's also an Xbox One version. The games are identical. Maybe it runs slightly better on the X and S version. The only bonuses, you get stackable achievements, and it's a very, very quick 1,000 gamer score, so you can probably get the full completion in under half an hour if you do it right. Now, this is more of the same if you've played the first one. It's a sort of quick pace sort of action platforming game where you play as a ninja called Yuhiko, and he's gone basically down into the underworld to find a cure for his brother's illness. Now, you basically have to explore a whole host of dungeons, fighting monsters, avoiding traps and lava, and jumping all over the place, fighting enemies, working through like short levels as quickly as possible. Now, you don't have a whole host of abilities when you start the game, but as you progress, you'll get a whole host of new gameplay mechanics. You'll get like a grappling hook, and you'll be able to do better jumping and stuff like that. And there's also a whole host of bosses you'll have to deal with. Now, this game is really cool. It has a nice monochrome, like black and white look to it, with like odd bits of red which really stand out when they're there. Gameplay wise, it's pretty fun. It's like one of those fast paced sort of platforms where you're going to be running about, blitzing your way through, slashing at enemies and stuff like that. it makes you think it's going to be like a Metroidvania, I think, from the name, but I wouldn't really say it is like a Metroidvania. There's not tons of like exploration all over the place and backwards and forth and looking for secrets. It's much more linear than a normal Metroidvania. Now, on Xbox, like I say, there's two versions. They're £4.19 each. You buy them both. I think you can also get it on Windows Store as well, so you can stack it 3 times if you want to get those achievements like racking up. And it's not bad. Like I say, it does get difficult as you progress. I think the second half of the game is much harder than the first, but it's a definite improvement over the original. I quite enjoyed the original myself, but I think this one is a fun little game, and it will take up a couple of your hours, like easily, without having to worry. And like I say, it's at a cheap price, so winner, chicken dinner. So check that one out. Just for the art style alone, I think it looks really good. I like when you're like attacking enemies and stuff, and they go red, and some of the sort of dangers have got like red eyes and stuff, so you know they're enemies. It's just subtle, but it looks really cool, and the soundtrack's pretty decent as well. But that's that for these 4 Xbox games I've been playing recently. Hit that like button, guys. Hit subscribe, because I do review content all the time. And leave a comment down below. Let me know which of these 4 games are you interested in, if any. Which of them have you played? And also, are there any other games you'd like to see me cover in either standalone or review roundup videos? But until next time, guys, thanks for watching.